Good morning. It is a beautiful morning.
Beautiful.
Who all has been to a judging school in the years past? Good, good, good. So you got a general idea. And then did anybody go to the one in December?
Emmett?
Was in Hemet? So Jim's been to that. So we had one that rule changes this year pretty slight. Just for what you already knew, we're going to definitely review everything. We're going to do things a little bit different this time. I want to help you as judges and help you as pilots. But based on what we had before, there were 6 approved rule changes. It's a pretty good sized rule book, and we get lawyers involved way too often, or people that think they're lawyers. So there were 39 places or something like that where the rule book said the pilot shall do this, the judge shall do that, and a lawyer somewhere thought that meant it was optional as opposed to what you had to do. So they went through and changed those to should. This is what the pilot or the judge should do instead of what they shall do. So ignore it. It's just for the lawyer. Keep the lawyers happy. Okay. Another rule change made it very clear that if a pilot has a mechanical problem in the first sequence, they can absolutely fly a different airplane for the second sequence. Doesn't have to be the same airplane. They don't have to repair that one. We've all done that. We know it. No big deal. The third rule that was changed is pretty significant. Even the description of it is confusing. The real deal is the old rules, a maneuver ended after one plane length. You exit a maneuver, you got one plane length, and that was the end of that figure. And then you had the empty line before you initiated the next figure. The old rule said that after that one plane length, whatever errors you had, okay, were deducted from your first figure. Okay, that was your exit errors, taken off that score. The old rules gave you that empty line in between, which were part of the scoring of the next figure, to correct those errors without a deduction on the next maneuver. Okay, so you exited incorrectly, we deducted from the first maneuver. In the last year, you were able to correct that, get back online with no deduction on the next maneuver. Now, IMAC has decided that you exit a maneuver after that one plane length, those exit errors are taken from the first figure and immediately deducted from the next maneuver. Still, you want to correct it, but
So if you took a point deduction exiting
Right.
the first maneuver, it's a point deduction entering
Immediately. Yeah, so last year you were able to correct it and not have it deducted from the subsequent maneuver. Okay,
Double jeopardy.
that's exactly what that is. I didn't agree with it, but whatever. That's what they wanted to do, so we just judge by the rules. That's what the rule book says, so that's what we'll do. And definitely in Coachella 2 weeks ago, whatever that was, we were in Coachella, my scores were lower for everybody because I had an additional deduction that I had to give everybody on the subsequent maneuvers. I used to give them that freebie back to level and parallel. So that's the big rule change for all the rule changes this year. So is that clear, everybody? What JST's talking about, we come out, let's just come out, you're parallel with the runway, your pitch is correct, but your wing's down 1 point. That would have been a 1 point deduction on your exit. Okay, last year we let you roll back to level and you were still at 10 on your subsequent maneuver. We didn't take that deduction on your subsequent maneuver. Now after that one plane length, we've taken the 1 point on the maneuver you just left, and you've already got a 1 point deduction on the next maneuver.
And then what if you do the correct, and say,
Still get that for free. You should still absolutely correct.
okay,
Yeah, because
if you don't correct, you're going to screw up the geometry
sure.
on the rest of the next
If your wing's low and you pull, now you got a yaw problem. So we don't correct for getting you back to the right line. But the real difference is you don't get the correction for.
That has to be in the first plane length after the maneuver.
I don't understand your question. The first maneuver ends after one plane length at level. So we take in your error. You got a 1 point deduction as an exit error on the first maneuver.
That's what I'm asking. The
Right.
correction needs to be made in that one plane length.
Well, you're going to see pilots try to do that. I guarantee you, I'm going to be rolling during that radius, so I come out level. That's what I, as a pilot's, going to do.
You're going to sneak it in.
Absolutely.
The
You know,
question that I understand is, are we allowed to make that correction to wings level within that first plane length?
well, it's still going to be a deduction from the previous maneuver, but sure, if you come out level, then it's not an exit error.
Now the proceeding.
Yeah. Okay. The rule is about the deductions at the exit. What you do in the maneuver, nothing's changed on that. All the scoring during the maneuver, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed on how you judge the maneuver. But the real deal is after that one plane length, okay, we're taking the deductions for the problems on your exit.
I think what Dave's asking is, let's say we come over the top and we're pulling out an exit, and
in that radius, we realize our wings aren't going to come level.
Yep.
And we make the correction in the radius and
Right.
come out wings level. If the judge doesn't see the wing correction, it's no points off, and you're set for the next maneuver
Yeah, I've already deducted for the
with no deduction.
I've already deducted for the mistake you had in the first maneuver, but you came out level.
No
it's-
deductions
yeah.
in the second maneuver.
Yeah, because you didn't have an exit error.
Exactly.
Right.
Does that make
So
sense?
that's literally the only difference is whatever your exit errors are, whatever your exit errors are, you no longer get to correct them on the line in between the figures with no deduction from the next figure. That's the change.
That's the basic thing. is
But
that-
not even within the first plane length of exiting the maneuver.
Well, that's still part of the first maneuver. The first that one plane length. Okay, Dave, stop. I'm talking about it after the one plane length. Yeah, after the one plane length.
Let me see your airplane.
Give them the controls.
All right, we come out of the maneuver. Some of us will be correcting that know how to do that. I'm talking about here within the first plane length to make that correction. It's still a downgrade to the next maneuver, or is it beyond that first plane length that I make that correction that it's also a downgrade to the next maneuver?
I think you get the plane length.
You get the plane. Everybody know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
He's looking at the space of the first plane length
Yeah.
exiting the maneuver.
So if you feel like you can get to level, okay, Dave.
Understandable.
Yeah. So if you feel like you can get to level, and in that 2 milliseconds
Well,
that
that's
takes
what
that
I'm
one
asking.
plane length, that you're going to make a correction in that one plane length, feel free to try it. If you got that kind of reaction speed, go
So
ahead.
you've got that ability. I mean, it's. But you're still going.
If a person can respond in 2
But in
milliseconds,
the first
go crazy.
maneuver you're in, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
the preceding maneuver. Because what you said here was that if we're outside that first plane length and then make that correction, it's also a deduction of 1 point.
It's too late. It's already a deduction.
That's what I'm saying.
You get to come back to level always.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yep.
You've already made the correction, but it's still a downgrade to the next maneuver.
It was a downgrade the instant you flew that one plane length. Jim, Jim, who are you talking to? I mean, we got 4 discussions going.
All right.
Literally, this rule is about the beginning and the end of a figure. Okay, this is the rule change we're talking about. That portion that is the beginning and end of a figure. Okay, and the end of a figure is after one plane length. And the only change of the rule is you've now drawn that one plane length. That's the end of the figure. Whatever problems you've got are a deduction on your exit. Okay, last year you had an opportunity on that flat line to correct them and not have a deduction on the next maneuver as long as you did it before you pushed, pulled, rolled, snapped, whatever. Okay, you had that flat line in between. This year you don't. So that is literally the only change. You've flown one plane length. Whatever errors you've got on that exit are immediately deducted from the subsequent maneuver. It's just that simple of a rule change.
Next one. Next
Okay.
one. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Okay, some of the penalties so judges, this is important. Last year, somebody says they didn't call the box, you lost the entire round. Okay, this year, not calling the box is a single sequence. Okay, so we're lowering the penalties there. Last year, an illegal maneuver, you're flying snaps, whatever, while you're not supposed to be doing it. Last year, you would have zeroed in the entire round. This year, it's one sequence. Okay, so we're just lowering the penalties for that. Okay.
And I did, last contest, we spoke on something a couple years ago. There was a pilot that didn't call in the box. And we, as judges, we decided to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yep. So last year the penalty was huge. It's an entire round. This year it's one sequence. All right. And there's one little change on a family 8, and we'll talk about that when we get to that family. Okay. So that's a quick on the rule changes. Really only one that's significant, but for the judges, you need to know the penalties.